Anything about your round that we could use?
It's going to be a challenge. I'm satisfied with my finish. It's always nice coming off the course, finishing with a birdie. Today I felt like I did some good things out there, and I did some things I could improve on. I had a couple sloppy bogeys I felt early in the round. I had the early bogey there on 11, which was a little sloppy, and then I had one on like maybe the third hole that was sloppy as well. But overall, I did a good job battling, keeping a level head out there. On a day which there was definitely some challenging aspects to the course, and did a good job of posting a number on a day where I didn't have my best stuff.
What club was that on 9? And I wanted to ask you what happened on the shot on 16? Is there mud on your ball?
On number 9, that was a 6-iron downwind. Ball started to go pretty far as it started to heat up today, and then on 16, hit it in the middle of the fairway and you got mud on your ball, and it's tough to control where it goes after that.
Mike 10, please.
Yeah, just following up on 16 up here, Scotty, thanks. You and Xander were kind of right there next to each other in the fairway, and of course Rory's got the side hill lie. But just how unusual is that to see all three of you kind of have a big number on that hole?
Yeah, I mean, but Marty just asked me about that, actually, and I kept the honor with making a double on a hole, and I think that'll probably be the first and last time I do that in my career, unless we get some kind of crazy weather conditions. But like I said, it's one of those deals where it's frustrating to hit the ball in the middle of the fairway and get mud on it and just have no idea where it's going to go. And I understand it's part of the game, but there's nothing more frustrating for a player. I mean, you spend your whole life trying to learn how to control a golf ball, and due to a rules decision, all of a sudden you now have absolutely no control over where that golf ball goes. But, I don't make the rules. I just got to deal with the consequences of those rules. And, I did a good job of battling back today and not letting a bad break like that, which cost me a couple shots, kind of get to me. And did a good job battling after that and posting a decent score.
How surprised were you when you saw that ruling Wednesday that, there wasn't going to be any preferred lines?
Not really surprised at all.
Over to Dan on 5.
It's become normal for you now, but a huge grouping, 1, 2, and 3 in the world. There's a ton of people out there. Was that something you had to almost get used to? Every time you play at these majors, you're in one of these sort of super groups?
Yeah, I'm not sure if traditionally they've always done that with the pairings. I felt like when I was growing up, like when Tiger and Phil were 1 and 2 in the world and VJ was up there as well, I felt like I didn't see it as much. I may just didn't watch enough golf, but that may be more of a newer thing. And I mean, it's really fun for me. I'm like I said yesterday or on Tuesday during my press, I feel like I can learn a lot from watching guys play. And obviously during a major championship round, that's not really the time to watch. I'm pretty focused on myself out there, but there's always little things you can pick up on from players. And yeah, it's fun. I mean, Xander's a really good buddy of mine, and Rory's a friend as well. And it's always fun to be out there with those guys. And I mean, I love being able to play against the best, and there's nothing better than being paired with them as well. So it's fun.
Go up to Mike 16.
Hey, Scotty, given how much rain there was earlier in the week, were you kind of surprised today at how wet the fairways were, but then how bouncy some of the greens were when you guys were hitting your approaches in?
No, that's something that we knew to prepare for going into the week. When you get newer Bermuda greens, like the greens for this tournament last year were almost brand new, and after settling in for a year, they're still going to be a little bit firm when they're new Bermuda. And then, I mean, the golf course it got some pretty good amount of rain this week, and I think this golf course actually does a pretty good job compared to some other places in terms of those run-up areas. Like those run-up areas are continue to firm up, and as the greens start to settle, I think you'll see a bit more playability of shots going into the greens. Sometimes as players, it can get frustrating when you have very soft run-ups and extremely firm greens. And I think this golf course specifically, from like a design perspective, does a good job of mowing that zoysia towards the green, especially if you're going to have a different type of grass on the greens.
Playability going to change your strategy going through the weekend now or the rest of the tournament here?
No, it's going to be tough for those fairways to firm up too much, just with the amount of rain that we got. I mean, you can always firm up the greens with the sub-air system, but not having that under the fairways will make it pretty challenging.
Over to Bob on 1.
Scotty, traditionally the majors do not play preferred lies, even the PGA, but they did go out of their way to tell us last night that they weren't going to. So had there been some discussion that they might? Like when you guys were practicing and stuff, did you get the sense that they were thinking about it or considering it?
I mean, by the way, this is going to be the last answer that I give on playing it up or down. I mean, I don't make the rules. I think when you're looking at the purest forms of golf, I think Like if you're going to go play links golf, there is absolutely no reason on a links golf course you should ever play the ball up. It doesn't matter how much rain that they get. I mean, the golf course could be flooded underwater and the ball's still going to bounce somehow just because of the way the turf is and the ground underneath the turf. In American golf, it's significantly different. When you have overseeded fairways that aren't sand capped, there's going to be a lot of mud on the ball, and that's just part of it. And when you think about the purest test of golf, I don't personally think that hitting the ball in the middle of the fairway you should get punished for. And on a golf course as good of conditioned as this one is, this is probably where a situation in which it would be the least likely difference in playing it up, because most of the lies you get out here are all really good. And so I understand how a golf purist would be like, oh, play it as it lies, but I don't think they understand what it's like literally working your entire life to learn how to hit a golf ball and control it and hit shots and control distance. And all of a sudden, due to a rules decision, that is completely taken away from us just by chance. And in golf, there's enough luck throughout a 72-hole tournament. I don't think that the story should be whether or not the ball's played up or down. I think when I look at golf tournaments, I want the purest, fairest test of golf. And in my opinion, maybe today the ball should have been played up. But like I said, I don't make the rules. I deal with what the rules decisions are. And I could have let that bother me today when you get a mud ball and it cost me a couple shots. But it cost me, possibly 2 shots on one hole. And if I let that bother me, it could cost me 5 shots the rest of the round. But today, I was proud of how I stayed in there, didn't let it get to me, and was able to play, some solid golf on a day in which I was kind of a bit all over the place and still post a score.
We'll wrap it up here on 7 with Patrick.
Scottie, you were part of a blockbuster group out there on the course today. Amazing atmosphere. What was it like for you to be a part of that, feeding off the energy of the crowd? What was that like?
I mean, it's always a ton of fun to get paired with those two guys. I think what excites us the most as players is getting to play against the best competition, and having the top 3 guys in the world all playing together is a tremendous amount of fun. You got a guy that just won the career Grand Slam, another guy that won 2 majors last year, and then, I won a major last year as well. And so, it was a fun group. The crowd had great energy, and, hopefully tomorrow we'll play a little bit better. This morning was a bit of a struggle. Like you said, like all 3 of us had a double on the same hole in the middle of the round, so that can kind of kill the momentum. But overall, it was a fun day, and I was glad to post a decent score.
Thanks for your time.